All right. Today we're going to talk about how to close more deals with the leads you already have. This is actually a re-recording. We did this live with a couple of the community members. I think it went well. Just wanted to re-record it so I can clarify on certain points that I did not get to clarify the first go around. So again, we're going to talk about how to close more deals, key point with the leads you already have. So this is not additional marketing. How do we want to do that? We're going to get into it, but the idea is lead management. There's a reason lead management is a sales position. Let's talk about it. I'm going to start off here with a little tidbit. So before we talk about lead management, we're going to talk about lead generation, marketing a little bit, right? So marketing 101, Bateman Collective, their PPC company, they just did a survey of over 1,000 REI companies. Don't know exactly how many, but they took this data on their marketing that they were doing, and they kind of compiled it, right? So what was the return on investment? What was the lead quality? And they measured lead quality the way I like to measure lead quality, leads to a contract. Obviously, the less leads you need, the higher the quality of the leads, right? So anyway, let's talk about it. Let's look at it. So they had now this was done, I want to say this was mid 2025, right? So you can see here, cold call, they had it right about 60-ish cold call leads to get a contract. That is not the same in 2026. There's a lot of new, I don't want to call it regulation, but there's a lot of new tools that iPhone came out with, Android came out with. We're going to talk about that in some other video, but now I'm seeing it's closer, and we were doing cold calling for a long time. It's closer to about 125, 130 is kind of what I would consider more standard. You can still probably get around that 80 to maybe 100 lead to a contract range, but I don't think anybody's going to be hitting 60 anymore anytime soon, unless you're Eric Klein and you just got all the cheat codes. But even still, we had a very similar experience. Actually, our numbers were a little bit less. They're showing around 225, between 240% on the ROI. Our numbers, we were at a 2.2x ROI with our cold calling, and so with the amount of leads that we needed, and it just, there was other channels that we had going for us where we were getting a much better return, and we just decided to cut off cold calling and put more money towards those other channels. Again, that's a point I didn't get to elaborate on last time we went through this. You can see here at the top, very, 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 very high rate of return on investment, cold texting. Profitability is through the roof. Again, it is a volume channel. You still are going to need maybe about that 70 leads to a contract. We're a little bit better, actually. We're about 33 leads to a contract. But again, average about 70 leads. That's not bad. To a contract. And then as you go down the chart, obviously you start hitting a little bit more of those inbound channels, and you should expect a lower lead to contract. The lead quality should go up. So you can see here, they have the lowest is TV, right around maybe like 7. So 7 TV leads to get a contract. That's really good. It's underneath that little, you can see that profitability reference. All that saying is it profitable? Is it profitable? Maybe you're spending too much. Maybe you're spending $50,000 on TV to get, two $20,000 deals. Obviously, that's not the case. I'm just making up an example, but not as profitable. And then SEO beats out everything. Obviously, SEO is really good, but this is a survey of over 1,000 REI companies, and I really like how they broke this down. They actually did another breakdown too, where they added in the exit strategy. Same over 1,000 companies that they interviewed, but they broke down the exit strategies here. You can see here with agent listings averaging about 10 grand. Not bad, right? Wholesale, about 17,000 national average. That's still the case. That's been the case for a very long time. That's actually up from where it was back in 2022, 2023, where it used to be about 15,000. Creative finance, 23.5, not bad. Innovations, about 25,000, pretty typical. Hotel, that's actually an exit strategy we maybe once, but 30,000. Not a lot of people doing it. It's not bad. Some people actually niche down into wholesale, and that's how they're bidding a lot of these wholesalers. And then fix and flip, 35,000. I want to talk about that fix and flip for a little bit, because I think that's an important number to know, because if the if the median spread, right? And again, you guys know there's a difference between average and median, but the median spread is about 35,000. Think about what that says about your deals. If these end buyers that you're selling your properties to, or selling your contracts to, I should say, if you're doing mostly wholesaling, if at the median they want to make us about that 35,000, are you providing enough of a spread for that to be possible for them? Maybe, maybe not, but it's something worth noting, right? And this is national. This is on national average. Then they looked at closing rates as well. You can see here if you don't have multiple exit strategies, i.e., wholesale only, and this is talking about contracts specifically. So this closing rates based on when you get the AB contract signed. If you're wholesale only, you're closing between, if you get like 10, you're closing maybe 3 to 4, right? Maybe just over a third of your contracts are closing. But if you have mixed exits, i.e., maybe you're doing wholesale and novation, maybe even a little bit of creative finance as well, you're closing about 53%. I would say I'm not surprised. That is, as a national average, that is down. That is down over recent years. I remember back in the day, a lot of people used to say like 70 to 80% was kind of the minimum you should be shooting for. Our average closing rate, and this is on contracts, is for last quarter is 58.33333%. And I was actually really happy with that. It should have been a lot higher. We had one deal where the seller kind of like tried to back out on us, but so it's even higher than that. But again, we're 100% virtual. I was actually really happy with that 58 plus, almost 60 plus closing rate. And then if you're not doing wholesale at all, let's say maybe you're creative finance only, or maybe you do try to hotel only, you're closing 50%. The point I want to make is you're still closing so much more than your wholesale. You're closing 5 out of 10 instead of maybe 3 or 4 out of 10. And I mean, one extra deal can make a big difference, especially if it's one extra deal a month like that. That's 12 extra closings a year. And again, if your average, even if your average assignment fee is $10,000, that's another, what is that, $120,000? Am I doing the math right? I think so. $120,000 a year. That, I mean, just adding even one more exit strategy is going to have a big difference on. Right now, you already paid for the leads. How do we maximize the return on them? Right? There's a few different things. There's a few different ways. Again, I'm going to stick to the material that's in this presentation. There's other videos where we'll cover everything in XYZ. But we have a case study here. We did SMS marketing. We had a seller who was an investor. They owned multiple properties. They were all rented out. They had no intention to sell them. We still got the lead because, again, we already paid for it. Right? We don't get to choose our leads, just what we do with them. All you can control is all you can control. Really like that saying. Wish I made it up, but I didn't. But all his properties were rented out. They said, okay, I'll listen to an offer, but I don't really care to sell it. It's one of those make me move kind of sellers. Give me an offer I can't refuse type of sellers. Okay. House is already flipped. I can't remember if they bought it flipped or they flipped it themselves and then rented it out. Can't remember. But house looked very nice. Like it needed absolutely nothing. So what would most people do with a lead like that? Most people would throw that lead away, unqualified, not for us, don't want to do anything with this lead, on to the next. I don't blame them, but if you think about it, you've already paid for the lead. You already bought the lead, right? Like, why not keep working it? Why not keep nurturing it? Life happens. Right? As we'll find out, life happens. I don't understand why throw away a lead that you already bought. The only time we ever mark a lead as like dead or we don't want to do it is we can, in the case of we cannot make any money with this lead. Either they already sold the property or I mean, tell me about it. Like they do not physically own this address anymore. I mean, outside of that, I mean, we're just gonna keep following up. Even if they cuss us out, tell us no, leave me alone. Hey man, we're gonna find another phone number. So, hey, sometimes it be like that. So find another phone number, see what happens, right? But most people would just toss this lead in the trash. Let's look at what happened with this lead. The reason I don't like marking the lead as dead, or or put a task and we forget about it. Like we're putting a task just because it's operationally sound. Like that's what we should do. My SOPs tell me to create a task to follow up in the future, but we're not really going to. And then your long-term follow-up just turns into a trash can because you got a lot of people in there who just make me move. I'm not really selling, yada yada yada. That's typical. That's what happens. But here's the thing: why have a lead nurture department if you're not going to nurture the leads? Doesn't make any sense. At that point, you just have glorified cold callers. Like really, like you're just calling, waiting by chance to see if it's the right time for this person to sell. That's not going to get you closed deals. Like, I mean, you might get lucky and find a few, or you might just hit that one person at the right time. But lead nurture, look at your cash conversion cycle and tell me it makes sense to have your lead managers as glorified cold callers. I'm telling you, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So dead leads for us, we have a 0% chance of ever making money with this lead. If you put a task, the lead manager is going to get overwhelmed with a whole bunch of different tasks, and they're not going to be able to work through all of them. And then the tasks basically just become useless because they're not clearing all of them anyway. If they get up in long-term nurture again, nothing's going to end up happening with it. It just becomes a trash can. The leads, and I know this from experience. I'm not just saying, I'm not spectating it. This is all just experience that we know. Speculating. We're not just speculating here. And then also what you think is happening with your leads isn't always what's happening with your leads, right? If you're not going behind your lead managers or really anybody on a team, make sure that you inspect what you expect, right? If you're not, I'm telling you, the SOPs aren't what's documented, they're what's actually happening. So keep that in mind. But yeah, here we go. We mark a lead as dead. If it's outside of our buy box, meaning like we don't want to buy in this area, or it doesn't fit our criteria, like maybe it's agricultural land, maybe it's a farm, maybe it's an office building. No. Some requests DNC are that hostile. Personally, I still follow up. I mean, it depends on what's said. If they're like, hey, do not call me ever again. I'm DNC. We're gonna file a complaint or whatever. I might leave it. I might. If they say that they sold the house, we verify first that they sold the house, because here's what happens. You get on the phone with a seller. Hey, you interested in an offer at 123 Main Street? It's already sold. Okay, got it. Boom. Hang up, right? You find out 2 weeks later, they haven't even sold it. It's not closed. Like maybe they're on another list, and maybe something else has happened. What you meant by closed is the transaction's already finalized. What you meant by sold is the transaction's already finalized. What they meant is I already went on the contract. I sold it to somebody else. But that somebody else hasn't closed it yet. They can renegotiate, they can terminate, they can fall off the face of the planet. We've had that so many times. It's unbelievable. You wouldn't even understand it. So we have people like, hey, when are you set to close on the transaction? If they say it's already closed, verify it. Check public record. Is it closed? Okay. If it's not closed, follow up in like a week or two. Follow up into most of these investors are going to put 30 days on that contract. Oh, congratulations. So when did it sell? How far did I miss it? I went on the contract this morning. I went on the contract yesterday. I'm going to follow up in 2 weeks. I'm going to see what's going on. And I want to follow up in those 2 weeks. I want to follow up after 30 days because they might have renegotiated by then. I want to be right there at the cusp when they're trying to renegotiate. And I tell that to the seller, hey, listen, if for whatever reason they don't close or they try to come back and drop the price on you, let me know. I'll see what I can do. Then we keep it moving. That's a real task. Like, we'll keep that moving. The way that we have our CRM set up is we have a 13-month drip campaign. So where the system is automatically going to follow up with this lead for the next 13 months. A lot of times what happens by month 6, 7, 8, they end up on some new list and they come back into our system and we follow up with them then. Oh, hey, I'm not sure if you remember me. This is Brandon. We spoke about giving you an offer at 123 Main Street. How have you been? Are you still exploring that option? Are you still entertaining that idea? Yeah, actually, yeah, you'll never believe what just happened. And then the craziest thing would have happened. Cool. We'll follow up with you. We'll see what we can do. We use AI to respond to text messages. We also use it for not just inbound calls, but also outbound calls as well. Again, this is all set up through our CRM. So it's nurture through value and authority. So are you ready now? Yeah. So the are you ready now text, there's a typo there. are you ready now text, I would ignore you. Like that's not getting. Oh, man, there's so much to go into. I'm probably not going to spend so much time on that, but there's a lot to go in that. But long story short, that's not how you get somebody back on the phone. Are you ready now yet? Especially when they're not ready yet. You know, they're just going to ignore you. Like, okay, this guy again. Right? They won't even say no or not yet most of the time. Some do. They're polite, they're cool, but most of them aren't going to reply to an "Are you ready now" text. Again, our system's designed to send out the specific text that we want to send out, but it helps us. It helps our lead managers, I should say, prioritize the leads that they should be working. Work smarter, not harder. All right, so let's talk about that property where the owner was a make me move kind of seller. I mean, the property was renovated. It looked, whoever did it did a good job. If it was the owner, kudos to the owner. But whoever did it did a really good job. Not motivated. It was already rented out. It was gonna be rented out for a long time, to for at least like 10 more months on there. But okay, I didn't look. We had 2 years of nurturing with this guy. 2 years of following up with this guy. And again, the system was, I can't, let me see if it says, I don't know if it says or what, but either the system caught him at the right time. I don't think that happened. I think he ended up on a list. He came back into our system, but we were definitely following up with him regardless. He remembered us, as a matter of fact. That was so funny. But we weren't sending him no "Are you ready now" text either. Right. So now the seller was in a position where he was ready to sell the house because, funny story, the tenants that he had in the property, they abandoned the house. Gone, just disappeared. No notice, no nothing. Just, I'm out. Right. And it was right over. That happened sometime in February, but it was the ice storm. Pipes burst. And nobody even knew. Nobody even knew that the pipes burst. That's what's so crazy about it, because the tenants were the one paying the water bill. Nobody knew. The only time he found out, because he didn't get his rent check. So he went to the property, found out, okay, where's my rent check? What's going on? Went there, on the door. Nobody answers the door. The heck? Okay. Obviously had his own key. Went in there, mold everywhere. Water's still going. Water's still going. Of course, according to him, I don't know how true that is, but I mean, we walked the house. Mold, black mold, all up on the walls. Floors were soaked. Like, oh man, it was insane. It was crazy. I don't know how much time passed, but for there to be that much mold, it's crazy. This is the house. You can tell that it was renovated. Again, it looked really, really nice. But here's what happened. Again, either we followed up or he ended up on another list. We got back in contact with him. He remembered us and everything. We were still too low for him. We were too low. He ended up taking another offer from a different wholesaler. Okay, that's fine. So we put him on another drip. We're following up with the man. Our drip campaigns have tasks with lead managers just to touch base, just to see what's going on too. In addition to the AI following up, in addition to everything, just to touch base, see what's going on. Well, that wholesaler, again, y'all remember, it's not closed. It might be sold, but it's not closed, right? So that wholesaler tried to renegotiate on. I don't know what the original price was. I have no idea what the original price is, but he tried to go down to 120,000 for this guy. Guy calls us up, and man, this guy is trying to give me 120,000. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Hey, I don't trust him either. Yeah, let's screw that guy. What's wrong with that? Hey man, how much can you guys offer? You guys been following up with me for forever now. Yeah, over 2 years. Been following up with me forever now. Hey, how much can you give me? We offered this man. I think we offered him 100. So I can't sell it for 100. Okay, sell it for. Man, I could probably sell it for 110. Ooh. I got to see if we can meet you in the middle even at 105. He's like, tell you what, do 106, it's yours. You got the rubberneck in 106. Okay, we'll give you 106. Got him at 106. He trusted us more. This guy already tried to renegotiate. We've been following up with him for who else was following up with him for that long? I don't know. I doubt anybody else. But this guy was out of the blue, brand new. Knew he was gonna get it done. Cool. So anyway, we did a 3D walkthrough on the house. We put on InvestorLive. We worked through our buyers list, obviously. That was email blast. That was text blast back in the day. Real fun stuff. We reverse prospected from the MLS. All that is you just find the people that bought other flips around there. You call their agents, or maybe you call them and get lucky and call them, but call them up. Hey, you flipped a house over there. We have another house coming on the market. Do you just want to take it before we put it on? Anyway, so we got it at 106. We thought we could move it at 130. We put 150 with a buy it now at 160. And somebody, we only held it for like, I think 4 or 5 days. And somebody bought out our buy it now price with a $500 GC fee. Good for us. We loved it. Yes, we got the buy from text blasting our buyers list. We closed in 10 days. Again, yeah, it was on. Like they were full cash buyers, easiest transaction you've ever seen. Property was in a trust, so the title was clear, solid, made 54.5 on that deal. Now, here's the point I want to make. Some people will see that and say, wow, you made almost 55 grand in 10 days. No, we made 55 grand in over 2 years. Does that make sense? Now, if you keep doing that over and over and over again, i.e. you get a backlog of people that you keep following up with and life happens, now you can start stunting. This is how you get to 7 figures in a year. Now you can start throwing these checks off and doing what you want to do. But it does take that discipline to not throw away that lead, right? Because again, already paid for it. Don't throw away that lead. Keep following up. Life's going to happen. And then here we are. He was on a list to begin with for a reason. At least that's how I like to look at it. He's on a list for a reason, right? So yeah, we closed it in 10 days from contract to close. Cool. But again, it was 2+ years of follow-up, right? Yeah, this is the other crazy thing. I'll be forgetting these presentations. So this is the other crazy thing. Really, 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 really cool family. I liked them. They liked us. We followed up with them. Hey, did you get your money? Hey, where'd you leave the key? Everything good? You didn't have any issues? They loved us. They were so happy. They had a second house that they wanted to sell. Instead of make us an offer, we made them an offer. We got it $30,000 less than the asking price because, again, they trusted us. There was that trust built. I talked about I know I've trained on this, the trust triangle. That's a whole different video. Go into that maybe some other day. But we got it for $30,000 less than what they were asking for. We assigned it. Reverse prospecting buyers. No, we did do that. The house really didn't need anything. It really didn't need anything. The guy who bought it was just going to rent it out again. Anyway, we closed and funded for a $20,000 fee. And this was after maybe, I want to say, maybe like 20 days after that last one. So by following up for 2 years, it resulted in us making about 75 grand in a month. Well, just over, about 5 weeks. About 5 weeks, right? There you go. Look at me. I'm already ahead of it. So again, it's 2 years of follow-up that got us that 75,000. Could we have gotten it from luck by just catching the guy at the right time? Maybe, probably. But we already bucked the lead. Like, we might as well just follow up. You can see here our return on investment through that marketing channel. We spent $43.58 that month, and we did verify this. We did look, we did check. We spent $43.58 from when that lead came in, and it turned into a $75,000 deal on top of the other leads we got from that month's marketing. Because again, we had our automations through the CRM. We didn't throw away the lead. We made sure that we were keeping in contact with us. Again, this guy remembered us. That's something else to speak to about turnover as well, because it was the same person that talked to him initially that talked to him again. That was really helpful. So love that. No lead left behind. For the Q&A section, obviously this is recording. We're not doing no Q&A. We talked about this right here. We're opening up some spots for our SMS campaign management. It's funny enough, this one's already been filled. We have one more spot left. It's gone. Can't have it. Sorry. We are going to be opening it up again pretty soon, and we'll just keep it on a revolving door, more or less. And we had opened up some spots for the beta launch on CRM. There's one currently, as of this recording, there's one more spot left. And you guys can call me for details, DM me, get in touch with me. We did launch the sales training. That's actually really cool. There's a lot of value that I'll be giving in that sales training, but it's going to be a weekly call, and there's going to be an implementation call as well. So there's going to be 2 calls. I call it showing up and showing out. Every training is going to be recorded. It's an exclusive channel in the community. You don't get access to it without paying for it. We're going to be doing role play bots in there as well. That's already coming. That's really cool. I've been testing them, building those out. Those are really cool. And you'll be grandfathered in at that $497 a month price until we have too many spots, and then we're going to have to start increasing the price. We're expecting maybe around $1,500, but call me for more details. Text me for more details. We'll see you on the other side.